my name is Sydney Meese, and for this second career profile, I have chosen to look into how to become a marriage and family therapist, what's required of it, and how to become one. And so basically, the purpose of a marriage and family therapist is to increase communication for an individual within their families or marriages um, in order to overcome trials and struggles that they may be facing. It's to remedy problems, basically. And this can happen in a few different settings. Usually it's in an office setting, but it can also be in clients' homes. It's usually a 9 to 5, unless, of course, you're going to clients' homes in order to travel. That would be a little bit different. But the types of settings and workplaces that you would be in would be mental health care facilities, hospitals, it would be treatment centers, maybe somebody that's overcoming a drug addiction. You would be in those types of settings. There's also government departments that you could work in, as well as, of course, personal practices. And so those would all be settings that you could work in. The requirements in order to become a marriage and family therapist, you first need a bachelor's degree in the social sciences. You would then move on to a master's degree, preferably in marriage and family therapy. Excuse me. And then you would want to get your 2 years of clinical experience. And this could be in a few different settings. There's nonprofits that you could work for and volunteer for, as well as charitable organizations, colleges, private practices, and other health agencies that you could get that training in. So you would do that first, and then following that, you would be required to take a state test. This would be a licensing exam. It's about 4 hours long, and it tests a few different things. Particularly, it'll test your knowledge of client diagnosis, so your ability to actually work with a client, as well as ethical standards. So those would be kind of the things you'd want to have the most knowledge about in order to take this exam. After you are licensed, you can get a job, but licensing only lasts 2 years. So you would also be required after that to continue your education. It would be attained by accumulating education credits, which you can earn in multiple ways. Usually through things like state workshops, other courses, training other people. You can earn credits by training others, and also there's online training that you can take. But you would have to constantly be looking into new studies and situations in order to stay up to date on how to be the best marriage and family therapist you could be. The starting salary for a marriage and family therapist can start at about $35,000, and it can go up to about $75,000. So the average was approximately $55,000. Just depends on what state you're working in. New Jersey and California both had very high salaries, but again, it just depends on starting out and where you are. There are some stressors to this job. So obviously, working with people that are going through some very big hardships in their lives can be stressful. You have to have a lot of knowledge about what you're working with and an ability to kind of separate yourself from the individual you're working with and their struggles. Some of the things that you work with on a daily basis would be abuse, infidelity, depression, grief, and they mentioned postpartum depression as well. So those are some big things that people face in their lives that you would be there to help them through. So it would definitely be stressful in some circumstances. The other thing to consider is that there might be some travel depending on what type of marriage and family therapist you are. If you're one that travels to clients' homes, then that would also be an aspect of your job. They mentioned that in order to be a marriage and family therapist, it benefits you to be a good listener. That's definitely important. Also, to have the ability of critical thinking, to work through problems and struggles, and to have overall compassion for those that you're working with. That would be very important. There was one example organization that I found near myself, which was Wasatch Family Therapy. they're here in Utah, and they were a good practice. I also have a friend that would be my personal career contact that's currently in his clinicals and will soon become a marriage and family therapist. So those are some good contacts that I found for myself. And yeah, that was pretty much everything regarding a marriage and family therapist. I overall found it a very intriguing career, one that I hope to pursue. I know there would be some challenges ahead as far as what kinds of things you'd be working through and for, but I think it would be overall a very rewarding career that would allow me to really benefit others and learn more about myself as well. And yeah, that's marriage and family therapy. Thanks so much.